Hello everybody, welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. So I'm incredibly excited for this week's episode. I am joined by the amazing Charlotte Honor, who is the CEO and the founder of Define Pilates and Wellness. So it's a platform where she's wanting to share her passion for Pilates, share her incredible knowledge, because I'm right in thinking 25 years with Pilates, which is just amazing, but also recently qualified in sports and holistic massage. So not only are you kind of teaching people about Pilates, but we're also doing a little bit of hands-on stuff as well. So really excited to talk to you this morning. So if you can give us a little bit about your background and obviously how you kind of founded your love for Pilates.
Yeah, so basically I I came from a dance background, so I trained in ballet and contemporary dance, like from the age of 2. And then so when I was 9, I went to a dance school in London, which was every Saturday morning, and it was very, very classical ballet, like straight back, open shoulders. And so with that, we did Pilates training. So I started when I was 9, every Saturday morning, Pilates, and then just continued basically. So I did my degree at a contemporary dance school called Larbin, which is in Greenwich, in London, which was beautiful and amazing. But they had a Pilates studio, one of the biggest in-house Pilates studio, and it also had a big dance science department. So it was really knowledgeable about the body, and we did Pilates every day alongside our training. So yeah, that's kind of how I came to Pilates, through dance. But then when I finished, I'd had enough of London. I always thought as a little girl going up to London on the train, I was like, I'm going to live in London, that's going to be my life. And I spent 3 years up there, and I was like, I need to be back by the sea. I just miss the sea so much. So that's kind of what brought me back. And then it was a bit like, what I've done all my training, what am I going to do now? I realized that it wasn't really anywhere. I'm in a small village, and so you've got like 2 cities either side, but they're kind of a bit of a distance, and there wasn't really much in between. So I think like Pilates can fall into some categories that are very fitness based, and then there's like clinical Pilates, which kind of like from like like you would recommend your client to, which is more kind of the route I went down. I think Pilates fitness has its place, but it's not for everybody, and the fundamentals of Pilates was to help strengthen like the core stabilizing muscles of the body, really. So I realized there wasn't really much around, so I thought, well, that's what I could do. So
create something yourself. I think sometimes that's the best way. When you're trying to create a company, you're thinking, okay, there's nothing that I'm happy with, I need to do it myself. So you kind of go, right, this is my own baby. And was there a particular moment, because obviously we can talk about the application of Pilates in a clinical setting, because like we were talking about earlier, I find that so vital with some of my patients doing that. But was there a particular kind of light bulb moment where you thought, right, Pilates is for me? Are you going from dance to Pilates? Was there a particular moment, or was it just as you were doing it, you kind of fell into it?
A bit of both, really. So like I have always done it, but also I suffer from hypermobility, which doesn't necessarily mean I'm flexible. It just means that my ligaments and tendons are overstretched, which means that basically without strength, I would just probably collapse in a pile, I think. So I'd been doing some jobs where I was standing for long periods of time, and I just got to a point where I was like, I need to do something to up my strength, really, and found that Pilates was working. And I thought, actually, do you know what, like, this can help so many people. And I think so it's so common for people to say, oh, I've got like really bad back pain, and just like, I think everyday life, like we sit like this, like rounding or head down, and it's just so bad for posture. And then like all those aches and pains and niggles come in. And actually, like, even the most basic exercises of Pilates just help so much. That's kind of like how I came to it and why, just to help people in pain, really.
I love that. And also it's so true, because I get a lot of people where we've had that initial kind of hands-on treatment with them, feeling a lot better, feeling a lot stronger. And then it's like, okay, what's next? How can we enhance or sustain the stuff that we've done? And I think, like we're saying, Pilates pushes in that point really, really nicely, because you think you've got the body moving, you're feeling a lot better. how can we enhance that strengthening and that core strength and that stability so that long term you're so much less likely to injure yourself. And just touching on a point there, that's a really good thing I hadn't even thought of, was the idea of like hypermobility. So we see a lot of people coming in. So obviously our role as osteopaths is to get areas moving. So we see a lot of people coming in that are really stiff, really rigid. So it's all about opening up through the body. But actually there is that other extreme that we do see where people are having pain because they're hypermobile. So it's actually really cool for you to touch on that and say, actually, you know, there's a lot of stuff we can do to almost stabilize it where people are too mobile, and kind of bringing that Pilates element in as well. So absolutely love that. And who do you feel, obviously it's a very broad question, but who do you feel that you can kind of help the most? So when you're thinking of like your ideal client in mind, who do you kind of think of with your company?
Well, Pilates can help anybody, but generally who I see in my classes are people that are suffering from lower back pain. Like people that sit for hours. I think like especially especially over the last year, everyone's been sat, and I think working from home, you spend even longer on the computer. You don't have that commute to work where you could like walk or stretch around. And you just tend to think, oh, I'll just do a bit more, and you find that you've been sat at your computer for like 9 hours or something. And I think, like people who just come to me like, oh, like I've got really bad headaches, or my neck hurts, or my back hurts. And like just with sitting, it creates such like tightness in the hip flexors and like pulls on that lower back. And I just think, like most people that come to me suffer from that. And I'm like, this is exactly what you need to do.
Get it moving. I love that, because we're going to touch on a little bit more, because I'm so excited to share what you have created online. Honestly, when I was looking through everybody, it was incredible. So we'll touch on that in a second, definitely. But do you feel like people have to have, some kind of baseline of Pilates? So we get asked this a lot, and a lot of people go, oh, I couldn't possibly do Pilates because, you know, I'm not flexible, I've never done it. Is there that kind of, do you have to have a little bit of skill already, or do you find that a lot of people come in as like complete beginners and then you kind of teach them through it?
So I think there's a big misconception at the moment, and I think social media really doesn't help with this. Like there's lots of beautiful pictures, lots of beautiful poses, whether you're talking about Pilates or yoga, and it's kind of gone a little bit to the extreme, and I think it puts like the everyday person off, which is completely not what it was meant to do. Because I'm hypermobile, like for me, yoga doesn't really work because I'm already overstretched. So like you were saying, like you need to bring it in, you need to find that control. And it's just anyone can start. Like I show different levels throughout all my classes. So even if it's more of an advanced session, there's still that basic, because some people just have an off day. Even if you've been doing Pilates for like I have for 25 years, like you still have a day where you're just a little bit too tired, or like your muscles just don't want to work. And so it's great that you've turned up to the session. That's the most important thing. So even if you just do the basic level, like that's okay, no matter what session you're in. And I think like I've obviously throughout my training, throughout life, I've come across so many different teachers, whether it's in dance or Pilates or yoga or whatever. And so I took a lot of knowledge from all of them, but kind of found what I did and didn't like. And I think like it is changing, but it used to be like everyone has to do this. Like you go to a class and everyone has to do the same thing. Whereas now, like especially for me, it's like, well, what I can do isn't what you can do. So why should I be teaching the same thing? So I think it's really important to have that different level throughout classes, so that I can teach someone who's been coming for like 8 years to my class and someone who's just starting on day one. Like that's who I have in class. And I think that anyone can start as long as you can get up and down from your mat. Then you're
also you can, I can imagine as well, you can probably adapt that a little bit as well. So if someone's coming in and they've got a dodgy knee or, you know, quite severe OA, you know, they can kind of work around it. And I love the fact that your knowledge goes beyond just kind of going through a class. You know, it's that clinician aspect. You say clinician Pilates, is that right? Yeah. So it's kind of looking at different conditions, and for me that's so vital, because you know somebody who's had a disc prolapse isn't going to be able to do similar things to someone who's never had that. So it's being able to adapt it as we go. And so I'm going to leave it over to you to talk about as well your monthly platform that you've created. So I looked through, it looks amazing, and so when I post this video I'm going to tag your website in so people can just go and have a look at how beautiful it is anyway.
Thank you.
I love you. It's amazing. I'd love you to talk through kind of what you've created, kind of what
so I think basically I never really liked the camera. It wasn't something, being online was never something that I thought I was going to do. And the pandemic kind of pushed me into that, along with my brother, who's very tech savvy and was like, you can do this. I'll set it all up for you and you'll be fine. So yeah, like I guess firstly, all my clients didn't like the internet either. So we were like, okay, come on, let's do it as a team. Let's do it as a group. We started on Zoom, which has worked really, really well and has continued to allow us to have our weekly sessions, which has been really nice. But alongside that, yes, I created an online platform, which is £15 a month. And for that, you get like a weekly recorded class. So you can do it in your own time. And then you get also like another 4 videos, which includes meditation. There's like a Pilates flow, which is kind of some elements of yoga, but with the strengthening of Pilates. Because, yeah, like obviously I am a Pilates instructor, but I can see there's a lot of benefits in every type of movement. And I think from my background, I can bring all those elements in. So people have been really enjoying that. And then there's a bit more of a core fitness class. But like each video ranges from like 20 minutes up to like 40, 45. And the feedback's just been that people have found it so good because they can just use it as and when they want. Because some people don't have the full hour in their day, and it's so important just to move rather than just think, oh, I haven't got an hour, so I just won't do anything. Like,
exactly. And also I know a lot of people who are working from home, one of the things that they're missing, like you said, the commute, and at lunchtime doing a bit of movement, because normally they'd go for a little wander maybe in the workplace or whatever. So doing like a 15-minute class, perfect. Or if you've got a little bit longer, doing a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people have just been like, oh, actually, like this is actually something that's really good. And even when we can go back to classes, whether it's mine or whoever, it's still good to be able to then have that, like, just, sometimes it's grey day or it's wet and you think, I really don't want to go
today.
Just don't want to go outside, but like it's so important to just move. So whether it's like shoulder rolls or just release through the spine or whatever, it's just, it's better. And you can just, I think people are so much more used to it now, being able to just turn the computer on or TV, do a bit of movement and then carry on with what you're doing. Like
I think it's nice, because I think also what's so great about what you've created is that, say for example they do the first lot of videos in the first month and then they continue to improve, I imagine they can always go back and see the difference. So the first class you did, you go back to it and think, oh my god, I can hold this for so much longer, or this is so much easier. When I first started, that was ridiculously hard, and now I can actually do it. And I imagine that must be so nice for you as a teacher to see those people kind of grow and see them improve.
Yeah, it's really nice. And also I think what works for them is that because it's a lot of the materials pre-recorded, they can just do it in their own time. So there's no time restraint. Like obviously sometimes evenings are just not going to work, or like you want to jump on at lunchtime, and as a teacher you can't just put classes as and when. So you have your set ones, but then people can just join in when they can, or they can do the 20 minutes or the 15 minutes or whichever works better for them, really. So
so I'm honestly so excited for you. I think it's such a great idea. I think a lot of people are going to benefit from it, and you can just see how you talk about it, like how passionate you are about it. And I think a lot of people will probably see that through the videos and see when you're doing it. So I'm unbelievably excited. So if anybody's wanting to have a look at this, what I'm going to do is, obviously this will post on our Facebook page, so I will attach your website and social media tags on our Facebook page, but I'm also going to post this on the YouTube channel. So lots of different places to obviously find this interview, and obviously any questions, people can reach out to you and drop you a message. So any interest or any questions, please comment below the video. And thank you so much for joining me today, and have a lovely rest of your day.
Been so nice. Thank you. Bye.